Podcast, and I'm your host, Jen, and my co-host,
Christina,
Marjorie,
Queen,
and we have a guest, a special guest, Miss London. Go ahead.
yeah, I'm London.
Yeah, I'm London. What else do you want to know about me?
Well, we're going to get into it in just a moment. Tonight's episode, we'll be talking about dating in a hookup culture, love, lust, and expectations. How hard is it to date in today's time? But before we go there, I want to check in and see how it's everybody's day today.
Mine was well. Glad to be here. Glad it's majority of it is over. It's Friday Eve, so the weekend is here. I'm just ready to be off work. That's all.
Ain't we all?
Great day today, long, but it's good.
Okay.
I feel good about how my day went. I've been working hard all week, but my weekend is starting now.
Yeah, okay. All right now.
And you, Miss London, how was your day?
I cannot complain. Very productive. Got a lot of work done so that I can enjoy my flight and not have to worry about working tomorrow. So,
yes, indeed. So, on tonight's topic, have y'all experienced, anybody experienced dating in this day and time, the difficulties of doing that? Like, how hard is it to like hook up with somebody that that's compatible with you?
Very, 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 very hard for me.
Why do you say that?
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. And I'm just joking. It's not that bad. You know, every now and again, you know, you might bump into somebody that you think, you know, might be compatible. You know, y'all might have a lot of similarities and stuff, but I honestly feel like you have to grow with somebody. You have to build with somebody, like, and you're not gonna find nobody that's just like the perfect match. I don't care what nobody say. Like,
right.
Ain't nobody finna just fit like hand in the glove. Like, it's not gonna be like that. I ain't gonna say it's not gonna be like that. I can't say it ain't never been like that for nobody, but I feel like it's like one in a million type of thing. So, I just feel like, you know, when I do date, you know, you kind of tell the person, you know, what it is that you're looking for, they kind of make themselves up to be what you're looking for. So it's kind of like a hindrance at the same time, because it's kind of like they pretending to be what you want your mate to be.
Exactly.
So that's the challenge for me. Like, I don't want to tell you what I want in a man. You know, you tell me what kind of man you are, show me what kind of man you are, you know, and then I can go based off of your actions. Like, but I still want to be able to tell you, you know, what it is that I want, but I don't want you to mold, you know, or pretend to mold yourself into what my wants are. Yeah. Like, if it's in you, it's in you, you know, and if the desire, you know, for that change, if there is a change that need to be made, you know, is in you, then it's going to be in you, you know, it's going to be evident. But that's the challenge for me, you know, in the dating world. I've been in the dating world for a while, and it's not fun. really just be chilling, you know. But when I do date, it is a little bit difficult to find somebody that is compatible with you. But again, like I said, you just kind of gotta like build with that person, grow with that person, learn that person. You know, you gotta learn them before you even know if they're compatible with you or not. So that's my take on that.
So you think your standards are too high? Your standards?
I don't think my standards are too high. Absolutely no.
No.
Can I just piggyback kind of off of what you just said, Tina? Like, I absolutely agree with that. So actually something I started doing in this dating world, as you said, a lot of people, especially in that first 90 days is going to be a perfect person. So I guess I just started when a person that I'm interested in dating asks me what I'm looking for. I guess my response is more of, I'll let you know when I see it. Okay. And then kind of go from there, because then you have no room to pretend to be what I'm telling you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then that actually will make a person, you know, sometimes work a little bit harder to kind of, when you respond like that, when I'm not giving you the playbook on how to get to my heart, or it makes you work harder on figuring out, okay, what is it that she needs to see in me for me to be a contender for her, you know? So that, but yeah, you did make a very valid point. People will definitely pretend and put on a certain facade or persona to try to get into your heart, your mind, and try to create at times a soul tie, so that you aren't able to walk away once you do start seeing red flags in the situation.
Yeah, that's true.
And what has been your experience, Miss Margie?
Oh.
We know you married now, but
She's married now. She's married now.
I was gonna reference before, you know, but for me, I always had to be straightforward. I mean, that's just the type of person I am. Okay, I'll take it back. When I was younger, like before 20, I just went with the flow. After 20, you know, at that time, I was working on my third kid, so I chose to be very straightforward. Not saying everything went smooth and perfectly, but I tried the best that I could to put out my intentions and what I wanted, mainly because of my kids. And I didn't want to keep just, I guess, playing around or playing games and stuff like that. I just wasn't into that anymore. So that probably could have took a part in people pretending to be something that they weren't. But at the time, like, I did not know how to go about it. I did what I felt was best at that time, and I chose to be very straightforward about my intentions. And I mean, it wasn't too many places I could go without my kids, you know. So I had to do like family friendly stuff. You know, if I did go out, I didn't have the opportunity to, you know, go out and mingle on my own. Like, I had to be there with my kids. That was my dating experience.
Well, at this time in my life, I'm not dating right now, but past dating period that I did have, trying to date someone that didn't have the same mindset as I had about dating. They had other agendas and hidden agendas. So, and it kind of left me off at a place in my life where I'm not dating right now. Don't say that. I'm not saying that I won't ever start back to dating, but right now it's just processing.
Would you say you're still healing, or?
I can say that I am.
That's smart. You should heal first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, my before marriage experience, and I guess you say since I've been married 3 times, when did you have a time? But I did. There was a time that I did get a chance to date. It just didn't go very well. but it's all good because it wasn't meant for me, and everything is not that shines, that glitters is not gold. So I think I'm with the. I don't think I know I'm with the right one now. So that's all that matters to me. But with that being said, there's nothing wrong with taking time out, and I think we had this discussion in the last episode where we talked about taking time out for you, getting to know who you are, and what your needs and what your wants is.
Right.
And that's what I had to do. I had to take time out and get in touch with me, who I was. And then once I realized who I was, and it sounds crazy because I've been in this body for how many years? Y'all don't need to know. But I should know myself by now. But after going through so many changes, and I don't look like what I've been through, first of all.
Right.
And eventually, we will get to that story, but not tonight. But when you go through a lot of different things, and you finally meet someone or date someone that's compatible, that's relatable, and y'all just click. Because I'm telling you, at first I was like, I'm not marrying nobody again. I'm done with that. It's over with. But here I am, married again. But again, it's never too late to fall in love. We still believe in love. I will keep on saying it because we say this month is dedicated to love. So that's why we're talking about it again. But you can find somebody that's compatible and date worthy, but I would just say be careful how much you give of yourself when you try to find somebody, to be with, because it's dangerous out here. Just take your time and just be careful. That's all I got to say on that. And Miss London, I didn't even ask you to tell people what you do, who you are, what you do. I said who you are, but I didn't say what do you do. So.
Okay. Yeah, sure. We'll go on that little tangent. So my background is in law. So technically I'm an attorney, but I now manage the legal department of a nationwide finance company. So also businesswoman, have some investments going on that I do plan on returning soon. But yeah, entrepreneur, just trying to continue to build a legacy for myself and my little one coming. This is the result of my last dating experience. So that's the result of dating. Congrats. Thank you. But no, I'm excited for her and just trying to build a legacy for her. So, I mean, God willing, I want her to not have to work if she doesn't have to. If I can try to build with God's help, of course, a small little empire in a sense, and just try to get to that level of greatness. You can always do better. So that's kind of where I am now, and now I have a different motivation, I guess you would say. So, I guess the second I knew about her, I started pushing myself further than I ever have, I guess you would say. I had to start trusting God more than I ever have. This is a new journey. It's my first one, so it's definitely a new journey, very scary, but it's one of those things where for the first time I feel like in my life I really have to kind of trust myself in a sense, because I feel like as a mother, just having a wonderful mother myself and having great examples around, a mother is, for your child, they know everything, they can accomplish everything, they are the person you go to for all advice pretty much, and just like, even if you don't know the answers, you're supposed to know it, you're supposed to figure it out, you're supposed to just do your best in that sense. So like I said, that's me. I'm not gonna age myself, so I'm not doing that part.
And you don't have to.
But I can say, once again, I have been in the dating world for a while, and definitely had my good experiences, my bad experiences, but I guess with the L in relationships, I don't look at it as a loss. I look at it as a learning experience. I never look at L's as a loss. It's learning lessons. So Yeah, that's me.
Yes, that's the thing. As long as you can learn from those experiences and carry on. So when your daughter becomes an age, you'll be able to teach her and tell her, you know, what to look out for.
Right.
You know.
Yes, Lord, please.
Yes, experience is a teacher.
Oh,
for
absolutely.
sure.
100%.
Yeah. So how was y'all's day yesterday? Valentine's Day.
Oh, yes. How was Valentine's?
I'm going to tell y'all what I did.
Okay.
Okay.
So, well, let me tell you what I did the day before. So the day before, you know, I teach a class, you know, on sewing at Phyllis Sweetley Community Center.
Oh,
I teach it every Tuesday from 11 to 1 o'clock. So I got the ladies
Excuse me,
together.
Queen, excuse me. Can you say that again a little bit louder in the mic so those out there that want to learn.
Okay. Now I teach a sewing class at Phyllis Sweetley Community Center from 11 to 1 o'clock, but that's free. But I do private lessons on with sewing as well.
And she's very good.
And very good.
Very good.
Thank y'all for that. But so on Tuesday, my group of ladies, right now I'm dealing with a lot of the senior citizens and their younger ones that does come. But mostly my group is seniors and those that's getting there. But anyway, so I got them to make heart pillows.
Oh,
yes. And so that was really unique, and I got a lot of gratification, you know, out of that because I love, you know, helping people, wanting to see, you know, people make it. So that was something that was needed to be done because Valentine was coming up the next day, and I wanted to know, so what can I do? What can I do? And so me and one of my sisters was talking, and she said, "Oh, well, why don't you do the Valentine's pillow?" And I was like, "Okay," because I made some over the weekend on Saturday for my granddaughter, and so she remembered that, and so she brought that back. So I was able to do that and take some pictures. So that was good for me. So, but on yesterday was a good day for me as well because I was doing some things around the house, so it wasn't, you know, like I was sitting around like, oh, I wish I was this, I wish I was that. So I still enjoyed myself around the house.
What's up?
So basically, I had to work. So I treated it like a regular work day, honestly. But my husband and I, we celebrated over the weekend, last weekend, and I got exactly what I wanted. It was a really good time. I enjoyed myself a lot.
Okay, John.
Loving it.
And what did you do?
Worked. Had to work late. That's the fun part of a manager. But yeah, I had to work a little later. But I mean, treated me and my little girl to some dinner, and binge watched some shows that I've been kind of into. So it was good. I enjoyed it. Like I said, got a lot of work done. Just trying to prepare to, like I said, enjoy tomorrow and not have to worry about working. So, like I said, just trying to get everything done. But yeah, other than that, just a normal day to me too.
So you showed yourself some love.
I sure did. I love myself every day. So it was a regular day to me.
Don't have to wait. Don't have to wait for once a year.
I swear.
Yeah.
And you, Miss
Well, mine was pretty regular. I wanted it to be a little bit more special than it was, but unfortunately, my children are getting of age where they don't like to enjoy the little things that I like to do. So I bought some little heart canvases. We normally paint canvases, you know, on Valentine's Day, little love stuff. And they just weren't feeling it, I guess. Like they was just chilling in their rooms. They really didn't want to come out. But I gave them gifts and stuff. Like, they were happy. But it didn't go like I wanted it to go. I'm not going to lie. And I celebrated over the weekend, so I had my little fun. But
All right now.
these guys, they just don't cooperate anymore.
I like that heart necklace. Is that one of the gifts? Because I wasn't sure if that. Oh, it just matched. Okay, love it. Then. I was like, is that one of the gifts?
This is part of the outfit.
I love it.
Well, I guess I can't complain. I had a pretty good day yesterday. My husband showed out per usual.
Okay.
And we like to take care of each other, spoil each other.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
On a daily, so it ain't gotta be just about Valentine's.
Yes. I don't wait till one day out of the year to
Show that love.
Yeah. Appreciation. Great.
Yeah. But more on this subject of. Okay, I had a question. Now I got to try to remember what it was. Oh, you was talking about when dating and you tell a guy pretty much they ask you what's been your experience dating, and you basically tell him, and then he feed off of that and try to show the opposite of that. You understand what I'm saying?
I don't want.
Right.
Right.
Then there are, on the other hand, some do the exact same thing. So it's like you following a pattern, and you find yourself dating the same person over and over and over. What is that? What would you call that?
Of dating the same type of person over
The
and over.
same MO, the same falling into that same dating pattern.
Be trauma connected to that. There are so many different reasons I feel like that could happen. I mean, not to be cliche, but like sometimes people say like, women will, go after, men that's like their father, and, men might go after women that's like their mother. And unfortunately, everybody's mother and father wasn't great.
Right.
So if you're accustomed to like dating somebody that's like, your dad, as far as that's concerned, but your dad's not the greatest person, but it's programmed in you somewhere. I think it's, I know it's an actual scientific thing in there somewhere that it makes you like drawn to that. So it's one of those things of like just trying to get to the root of it. Like I said, if that's not the case, it could be traumas connected to that. Some people don't feel like they deserve better than what they've experienced, even though they might say they do. You got to really feel like that to change a pattern that you see might be toxic. So that's, like I said, it's hard sometimes to identify it. So it could take years and many bad dating experiences to understand that that's what it is. But I think, like, I know two of those things that I would say contributed to my, poor dating experiences. My father has some great qualities that I won't take away from him, but I'm not gonna, I know, right? But as far as the qualities of a partner, a long term, no. My father is not the my father is not the person you
like
want to fetch.
A great father, but a terrible husband.
No, not even that. As I said, I can honestly say there are a couple of qualities that I can say I admire about him in a sense. He's laid back and chill, was never one to, raise his voice or put his hands on us as far as that's concerned. Like that part, yeah. But as far as even being dependable or reliable or there for you, that's not, I can't say that was him, So just even, like I said, as I started going into the dating world in my, later teens and things like that, up and, through my 20s and whatnot, and I'm still 20 according to everybody else. So, but yeah, like I did realize that I definitely was drawn to people that were like him because I liked the things about them that I liked about him. Like I said, being funny, laid back, life of the party kind of person, but was not a good partner. Like not somebody that you want to say, hey, let's build a future. Let's grow together. Let's build together. And yeah, that also contributed to the trauma technically. So I guess they were hand in hand in a sense because of that trauma of growing up, allowing this parent to not be reliable. I found myself rolling into that same pattern when I started dating. So I allowed things to occur. I allowed things to slide because I did the same thing with my father. You understand what I'm saying? So it's...
Look, I got you. You got me right there. I promise you got me right there on that one. Because sitting here thinking about it, my dad was not reliable. So always in my head, men are not reliable. That's what is in my head.
Is always the people that is in front of us. They are the people that we always see.
Absolutely.
And so whether they teaching you something bad or good,
right.
you know, and also when we see that bad pattern behavior, we have to remember that certain things are unacceptable.
Right.
But if we go along with it, thinking that we can change that person,
right.
It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be able to change them. They will stop for a little while just to please you.
Right.
But if it's not in you, it's kind of sort of like, they're not going to give you what they ain't got.
Exactly.
You know, and no matter how much we want it to happen, it's not going to happen.
Right.
So, and another thing is we also need to know that we, as people, it's our freedom to get counseling for the people, whether it's our mothers, sisters, brothers, whoever they are. We need to stop and say, well, wonder why that person has those traits, and why do I follow after it? Because for me to be me the way that I am me, could it be that it's because a lot of the time that's the way I am because I've been patterned my life after somebody else, the way the expectation that I have of my father, my brother, whoever they are, and I think, oh well, I'm gonna go this route, and but going that route is hurting me,
Right.
you know. So at that point in our life, we need to figure out, okay, let me do some soul searching within me. You know what we're not gonna put up with. Allow people to behave. Their behavior is unacceptable. You know, and the sooner we get that in, it kind of pulls out that trauma, that crying, you know, all of the stuff that is tagging along with that. Because if we can see it and stop it, it can save us from a lot of hurt and pain.
And ain't nothing wrong with cutting a man, woman off.
Yes,
ain't nothing wrong with it. You need to cut them off.
Your
cut 'em off.
well-being,
and health sometimes,
your
mental health.
Yes, because the red flags is there.
Absolutely.
You just got to open your eyes and look, and you will see them. Trust me.
You see them before you even get into a relationship with them. You see that. You just chose to ignore it, you know. And it's easy to choose to ignore it because you be like, I'm gonna give them a chance, you know. And sometimes that's then another chance, you know. And sometimes that's the worst thing that we could possibly do. Like, you know what? I ain't trying to be hard and all that, but listen, it stops right here. You ain't got the time.
What you allow will continue.
Exactly.
I have some friends that try to act like they colorblind, so they don't see red, they don't see none of that stuff. But you can.
If you don't see no other color, you don't see red.
Them radars be going off.
Right.
Start itching. Get a rash, and you don't know what's going on. Where that come from?
Exactly.
And
Girl,
intuition.
your eyes.
Yeah, because if your hygiene, if his or her, whoever they are in your life, if they come around you with dirty hygiene, they gonna continue. As long as you ain't saying nothing, they gonna continue. But if they got it, you know, embedded in them, they still gonna come around you. They will sit on your furniture weeks after week with the same dirty stuff on, getting to sit inside your furniture. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say they ain't gonna give you what they ain't got. You know. Stop the madness. Stop it off right there. Say, You're not bringing that over here.
That is great.
And talk about expectations.
But you love them. You gotta love them, but you gotta love them from a distance.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
into a relationship, you expect things to go right.
Yeah.
You expect things to be right.
That's true.
And if you can't get right, you expect them to get out.
And that's the thing about that though is everybody got an expectation coming into whatever situation that it is.
Yes.
If you don't let that person know what your expectation is, how do you think y'all gonna get anywhere? How do you think y'all gonna move, succeed, or anything? So you gotta communicate that thing.
But the fellas don't always want to see that communicating part there. They be like, "Oh, you want too much, you expecting too much." But if you don't open your mouth and say what you're expecting, you get walked on.
Exactly.
You know,
absolutely.
and you be
They
like,
gonna do
"Nah,
that
that ain't happening over here."
Right.
You know, if y'all ever see me being walked on, you better shake it. So, until them slap me upside the head,
Right.
slap you back.
I'm gonna kick you while you're down. Get up, stand up.
I'm gonna stomp. I'm gonna get you up and stomp him down. Just so you know, whoever listening out there.
Yes, indeed.
No, that's true. Expectations definitely have to be discussed.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, okay, expectations, cool. But how do you create that fine line between, like, standing your ground on your expectation or, like, when you need to be like, hey, maybe I can compromise here a little bit? Like, how can you tell the difference?
Depends on your boundaries. You have boundaries set in place, ultimately. So there, in some cases, there are some boundaries that you have wiggle room on. Okay, for example, say that a boundary for you is your expectation. There is no cheating. I don't care. And if you let them know what, now there's a difference now. So if you say cheating and just make it a generalized statement, now that person could take that as one thing. So say, for instance, that, you know, they liked a picture on Instagram and you might personally feel like that's cheating. But if you haven't expressed that to them, there's a little room to wiggle.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like that didn't cross that boundary, if that makes any sense. But if we're talking about like hitting me, putting your hands on me, no, you know, that's unacceptable. And you put your hands on me, I gotta let you know I'm standing on business. I'm not going back to you. We're not gonna rediscuss it. You're not gonna be able to give me no valid explanation to why you slept. Like that's not a me not being reasonable. That's not a me, oh, your standards are too high. No, I respect myself. So it really does depend. I think that when you go into any situation, when you start dating, in the dating world, you need to know your boundaries to begin with, like off top, before you even start dating.
That's the difference. Expectations and boundaries. That's the difference.
Yeah, that's really what it is.
And
Set
you
your
gotta
boundaries.
let them know what you will tolerate and what you will not.
But they will test your limits, though. So that's and that's what she was speaking on.
To walk away.
And that part.
And it's because it's different for each individual person. So what a man might get away with you, he might not get away with me. You know, when he might get away with you, he might not get away with her. You know, so it's gonna be different for each individual person. So when you come into these different situations, that's why it's so important to let them know your expectations, your boundaries, because it's not gonna be the same as it was for the female that was before you.
You gotta be like, I don't know what kind of female you would deal with.
Exactly. I am not her. I promise I'm not her.
I'm not doing that.
And she ain't me. I ain't her, and she ain't me. Don't even mix up. Do that right there.
Right. She ain't me.
You know what? I'm an entrepreneur. I might have that out next week. Let's see.
I'm trying to tell you.
But
Be ready to bounce.
I'm not gonna hit you back. I'm not gonna fight with you. We're not gonna do any of that. I'm gonna remove you and myself from the situation.
Two right there.
Oh, I love that. I love those two fingers. Those are the best. Those are the best ones. I promise.
All right, we got time.
At the end,
See, that's what I'm talking about right there.
Look, peace out and we come. I love that.
Yes.
Snip.
I like that. Yes. Oh, that's supposed to be my new one.
Well, y'all, let's do this DG letter. we're running out of time.
Aw. Good.
Dear Jim, I recently gotten out of a long-term relationship with a man that I made a mistake of thinking that I was going to spend the rest of my life with. Excuse me. That's funny. It's rude. Yeah, please.
Okay, I'm gonna start over. So, dear Jen, I've recently gotten out of a long-term relationship with a man that I made the mistake of thinking that I was going to spend the rest of my life with, knowing darn well I saw the red flags from the beginning. Well, one red flag, which was his closeness to this one particular female. Of course, he kept telling me it was nothing, but one day he slipped up and I caught him in a lie about him spending a particular day with her. I remained calm, gathered my evidence, and presented to him on a later date, which ended our relationship. Now, I'm not desperate or anything. I'm a nice-looking guy, and I'm close to making six figures, so I can get me another man. But I want my man back.
Oh, you want back? Okay.
Would I be setting myself up for failure to give him another chance? Do you think that once a cheater, always a cheater? Sign, a lonely but not desperate man.
Ooh, that's a lot to unpack.
Has it happened before? Like, is this a continuous thing? I think all of that plays a part.
It looks like
It
it said it was
doesn't
a first.
sound like it, yeah.
It sounds like it was a first and only so far.
I mean, hey, you never know.
But is it just him assuming that because he spent the day with a female, like these are two guys?
Well,
So
he
he's-
said gathered evidence.
Which makes me think that they
presented
can.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it went farther than just spending the day with him.
I mean, what kind of evidence?
Right.
Yeah.
Could be?
That you would break up with the person.
Yeah.
It had to be something deep.
I mean, that would kind of piggyback on what you were saying earlier, Jen, about like boundaries. I mean, it depends on what boundary you set in that relationship to begin with.
Yeah, what
Did
were you tolerating? What you
Yeah, exactly. Did you express to this person that was unacceptable and they did it anyway? Then no offense. I feel like if they spin the block and you allow them to come back, then prepare yourself for it to happen again and again and again, possibly because they see your weakness, unfortunately.
And they need to pick a side. They want the female
Or the man. Come on,
Right.
because I don't want to deal with that stress every day. It's bad enough. Like competition. Now I got to look at both ends of competition. Oh Lord,
Yeah.
I can't sleep that
just
night.
Me personally, I just feel like the trust. It'd be hard for me to ever trust you ever again around a male or a female.
Hello.
In the world, like no.
And that comes back down to as well knowing what you want, knowing what you don't want,
right, which you're not
and
going to
knowing what
tolerate.
you, right.
Just move on.
I say yeah.
Keep it pushing. Look,
Oh,
It's a lot.
I mean, but you know, pray about it. Yep, no, but yeah, I definitely can say I'm not going to say once a cheater, always a cheater, but I do feel like once a person sees that you are willing to budge on certain boundaries, they're going to keep pushing that line to see, oh, okay, let me see what else I can get away with. Let me try this one more time. Let me get better at cheating.
Yeah, because if you didn't lose anything, like what was your lesson? You know what I'm saying? If the same person gonna come right back, what lesson did you learn?
Nothing.
Except for the fact that you can do it and get away with it.
There you go. I'm just get better at it. If that's the case.
He ain't gonna do nothing.
Right? Like what lesson are you teaching
He
him
gonna
if
get
you
mad
take
for
him
3
back?
days
And
and
take
me
me
back in.
Yeah.
And he's
Set
still
those
gonna be
boundaries.
friends with that girl anyway.
And that's
he ain't going nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
pretty
Very well
much.
possible. Mm-hmm.
So on the upside, what should you do? Move on. That's my advice.
Yeah.
Move on.
Mm-hmm.
All those that say move on, say aye.
Yeah.
Okay, you didn't raise your hand, Queen, so I love that. Hold on. I want your
Yeah, I
answer.
would anybody in any situation, should move on no matter how hard it is, because whatever situation that you're in, it's gonna take some time, It ain't something that you're just gonna be overnight,
Right.
you know, getting over and
Yeah,
gathering
process.
evidence and stuff like that. Just because you gather evidence, there's a lot of times that doesn't mean that person's gonna stop what they're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And
you know, if it's something too hard for you, you just move on. If it's not too hard, you just continue to, you know, allow somebody to mistreat you and
Right.
disrespect you
Right.
and those crossing boundaries and all that stuff. So it, you know, it don't just work for that particular person. You know, it you know, just even with the opposite sex, you know, it's even worse. You know, when it's the opposite sex. So, but I can't even imagine how it would be, you know, with the same sex. You know, but so from my understanding, you know, somebody that's just going both ways, they just letting you know that they like to diddle dabble here and there, and they want you to be okay with it. And if you can't handle it, you know, versus you doing something crazy, you know, just move on.
Yeah, let them go. And that's dangerous, first of all.
Yes, it is.
That dibbling, dabbling,
Oh,
dibbling, dabbling. That's dangerous.
But can I play devil's advocate just for a second, real quick? Because even though, like I said, at the same time, depending on how hard that person is feeling about letting them go, keep on going back until you get tired. Because eventually you will. If they keep doing it, you'll get tired eventually. So sometimes you do have to keep going back until you find, because sometimes, like I said, everybody in the world can tell you, oh, this person's not this person's not that, let it go. But honey, until you feel that in you that you are ready, you're going to keep going back. So go back. Please keep going back, because eventually, I guarantee you, if you have any level of respect for yourself, you will get tired.
Absolutely.
All it takes is one time for me. I ain't going there. I shut it down.
Oh, cheating there, no. Not
Ain't no
me.
backtracking.
And no type of game.
Over with.
Because I feel like if it's not something that I'm gonna do to you, or that I would do to you, or have done to you, don't do it to me.
Right.
Agreed.
And then you're giving your all to this person, all your trust, all your love, all everything. And then they betray you like that. And then they turn around and expect you to forgive them. And you know what? Think about a woman. I can't speak for a man because I'm a woman. So I think about a woman that I do know. She can say, I forgive you all day long, but she's going to be looking and checking your every move. She's going to be wanting to know, you ain't home by a certain time. Where you at? Checking through your phone.
Right.
Like, who wants to go through all that?
Yeah.
And just let it go. Start over somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
And what person?
Life too short.
No, I agree. Like, what person wants to even have to do that? Like, let's eliminate the person who did the wrong, and they're the ones that now have to experience being interrogated every day they come home. But what person wants to be an interrogator? Like, why is that something that you now want to spend your days and nights laying in bed thinking about where they are, who they're with, wondering when they get home? Like, who wants to? That is stressful. If you don't have enough in your
Do
life.
that anyway. Yeah, I mean, when you break up with them or whatever, you still gonna do that anyway. I mean, it's not like you just turn your relationship on and off. So you're gonna go through the process of processing out. You know, and it may however long it may take you to process yourself out, then you take that time. You know, because it took you time, years maybe to build in a relationship. You know, and I'm speaking for myself. I don't want to walk around being bitter against people.
Right.
You know, and if I was friends with you before, then I want to be able to see that, say within myself that I can still remain friends in some errors, especially if the same people that I'm around, you're connected to those people.
Right.
I don't want to freeze up every time you come around. I see you.
Right.
So I know it's going to process. So I don't want to walk around with bitter because I chose not to keep my guards up.
Right.
You know, you see what I'm saying? Because you can't make people do what you want them to do. You just thinking that, you know, that they will have the same respect or they have the same thoughts as you have. Right. But all the time that don't happen. But in the midst of all that, there's still, just like you took the time to get in a relationship and build it. Nobody ain't tearing down their house just like that.
Right.
If you tearing down your natural house like that, use the food. You know what I'm saying? So you process that thing out, right? So down the line, when you are done with that, you can say, I'm done. But I ended a situation without being bitter. Nobody was so hurt that every time you walk up, you can't do nothing. You can't walk nowhere without you seeing that person and you the boo or you laying them out and treating them any kind of way, because most of the time one of them individuals is gonna be going on about their business. Be like, oh, you ain't got over that yet. I'm living my best life. I'm doing this or I'm doing that. So don't give people that room in your life that you can't get over. So even if you are working it out silently, do your best on working it out the right way. Everybody's gonna have their opinion on your relationship that you allow, and then sometimes you just can't talk too much. And let everybody into your relationship, because they're not going to be the same. They'll help you talk about your relationship, and they will talk about you and your relationship behind you. Oh, I wouldn't do this, I would that. Oh, if I was this, no. Because if you're in a true relationship and you ever get hurt in that relationship, you're going to feel something. You know what I'm saying? Yes. You're going to really feel something. So if you need to, however many times you need to get with your mama, your girlfriends, your daughters or whoever, and you want to talk about that situation, when you talk about that, when you're releasing stuff, it's helping you get over. It's when you keep that stuff all bogged down on the inside of you, and then one day you just explode. And you don't want that, because that's definitely unhealthy. But everybody's gonna deal with theirs. However it's better for you, you got to figure out which way is better for you.
You're right.
Just gotta release that thing. Let it go. Let it go.
But most of all, make sure you heal. And if you need to seek therapy, talk to whoever you need to talk to get through and get done. Get over it.
Yes. And I think another thing is, I kind of would like to know, like, what is making you miss them? Is it because they're reaching out to you? Are they apologizing? Or are they, like she said, just going on about their way? Because if so, I really think you should move on. But if they're reaching out, trying to apologize, trying to reassure you that it won't happen again, whatever, then, like she said, create your boundaries before you try again. And then if it happened again, that need to be a stand-on business.
Well, it's a natural thing to miss what you had.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with missing what you had.
Well,
you're going to do that.
People have to remember, when a relationship is over, that's a loss. You have to grieve it. It's literally, it's almost like I said, it's almost like going through a funeral process. You have to actually grieve. So it may not even be about missing them specifically. You might miss the future that you had planned for you guys. You might miss the thought of, wow, how did this happen like this? Like, it could be one of those things where, because a lot of times when people are in that place of missing somebody that hardcore, it's because they've placed them on some type of pedestal where they've convinced themselves that, oh my gosh, it's the best I can do. So once you humanize a person and really break down, like, wait, what was so amazing about them specifically? Sometimes that really can actually help your healing process. It's about removing people from pedestals, humanizing them, and then breaking it down from there. Once you break down, a lot of times, the reason that you walked away or the reason that you saw that lack of potential in that person, you start breaking it down, you go, oh, okay, I can do better. How does that better?
Really, like, they do it to themselves. Like, because then you looking at them like, whatever it is that made you, decide that you want to part ways, that's your eye opener right there. That's telling you right there, okay, they made this decision, because it was this decision, whatever it was, whatever that got y'all off track, whatever. It was a decision that they made, and at that point they made the decision like, okay, she don't want me to do this, or she would break up with me. I know that she would break up with me if I did this certain thing, and they chose to do that certain thing anyway. They made that decision right then and there.
Cheating is a selfish
act.
Yes. It's a premeditated,
There you
my
go.
opinion, premeditated selfish act. And if you're gonna cheat, why are you in a relationship in the beginning?
Absolutely.
Like, who made that a thing?
Right.
Like, you taking on this person's spirit, that person's spirit, that person's spirit, then bringing it back home. Who does that? Why do that?
Selfish people.
Just go on out there and do your thing and leave that person alone. You know, let them get on with their life and be great. And you gonna be great in what you do.
Right. But if you're a woman of purpose and destiny, maybe you need to applaud that whatever happened in that relationship, because that may not have been the person that you were supposed to carry your destiny out with.
It was not. It was not.
Well, this has been another episode. Sorry, I know we've been over. No, I ain't sorry. This was a good conversation. But this has been another episode. I guess I better close out. Follow us on Facebook at Check That Post Podcast and on YouTube at Check That Post Pod. Hit that like and subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you'll know every time that we post a new episode. You can write a Dear Jen letter to checkthatpostpod@gmail.com or text 866-311-2251.
Thank y'all.
Joe, family affair.